Okay, hello everybody. I just bit my tongue. This is Kiru's show here. Now, whenever I last left off, Rika Toa, I believe that's how you pronounce it, he commented that I gave Deku the Doomslayer armor. This is the armor I gave Deku. It's the 1980s iteration, but it just has a bodysuit underneath that goes from Deku's wrist down to his ankles. And it also covers this part of his stomach, along with him actually having arm guards. But that doesn't really do much whenever a piece or a demon knife basically got stabbed in Deku's arm. And before anyone says that may have broken Deku's arm, it stabbed in between Deku's bone. So he was able to pull it out and just stab the demon again. Albeit he did have to wrap his arm up and get it closed in the medical bay. But that is where we are going to be starting. I did say we were doing a time skip, and let us cut to that. 80 years have passed and Deku would walk into town. There have been rumors of a human alive, but no one knows for sure. When Deku walks into town, he is wearing a hood. And basically a very long cape. He walks into town and people are watching him. Essentially, you can't see anyone underneath, which is confusing. Deku would walk into a bar and people are staring at him as he would immediately walk up to a man, sitting there having a drink. He's telling the man that he has information and he wants to get it. The man would just say that he has no information. He doesn't know anything. As Deku would set down something on the table. He just set down a human soul. Now, this man looks at this and he's really confused. He's asking Deku where he got this. Deku would tell him that he doesn't need to worry about that. He just needs the information. This man would immediately go to grab the bottle, but Deku would just grab his wrist saying information first. This wasn't easy to get. Now, this man would tell Deku what kind of information he's searching for. Information on Satan, Lucifer. What is it, man? You name it. This is a soul. These things are literally like... These things aren't even supposed to exist. What the hell? Now, Deku would just say he's looking for the blotches. Rumor has it that they have been showing up again. The man would just say again. What does he mean? As he takes a closer look at Deku's face, actually seeing Deku's eyes through his helmet. He thought this was just a demon because of the glare, but he looks closer, realizing that that's not his face, that's a helmet. As he immediately goes to grab the bottle again, Deku would immediately just snap his arm, telling him that he needs the information on the blotches first. As everyone in the bar would get up and immediately start walking towards Deku, surrounding him. Deku would immediately just take out his sword and tell everyone that he just needs the information. They're all not worth killing. They would say that he just made a mistake of walking into on their turf, and he's saying that he won't kill them. What is he? Deku would immediately remove his hood, revealing that he is the Slayer, which a lot of demons are concerned by, because he's not even supposed to be real. Now, basically, they would say that he's nothing but a myth or a child's story. Deku would say that that's not even anywhere close. He's been in hell for the last 100 years, and I am trying to find a way out of this shithole. This place has been driving me insane since the day I got here. Do you know what it's like not being able to eat, being able to sleep, or even being able to even talk to someone? I have been mowing you motherfuckers down for the last century, and I have not aged a day in my life. As they look at him, Deku would immediately walk back over to the man, asking him where are the blotches. His patience is wearing thin as Deku would put his boot over the man's face. The man would just say that he doesn't know as Deku starts slowly putting it down. The man would then say, okay, they're about a mile to the south. If not, a mile and a half to the south and 2.5 southwest. So, after Deku gets the information, he says, alright, as he just puts his boot down further, smashing the man's skull. Everyone in the bar looks horrified as Deku just immediately picks up the soul from the table, actually putting it back into his pouch. And he would walk out of the bar. But before he does so, there is a demon that actually stops him. This demon is saying that he's not leaving here because he wants that soul. Deku immediately looks at him, saying he's not even going to get it. This is when the demon would lunge at him. This is about a 10-foot tall demon, and he's probably about like a ton in muscle. So Deku immediately just takes out his knife and actually just slashes it across the chest. As the demon essentially walks past him confused. This demon is not sure what happened as he would immediately just see a giant D appear on his chest, actually soaking downward in blood. Everyone in the bar would immediately go run outside to try and attack Deku. Deku just immediately just unholsters his gun and starts firing into the demons, which is whenever they would actually attack him. During this time, Deku has been through many battles and been through many parts of hell. Actually showing off one thing he did find. Apparently those military guys or whatever, or a demon, eventually had another gun. But ammo for it is on short supply, so he doesn't like using it. Now, Deku would reveal his sword and immediately start cutting down and butchering the demons. Actually slicing that one-ton demon's head off. And killing about 40 demons in the process. As soon as this happens, Deku would walk over to a demon that he originally carved the D in and immediately grab him by the throat, actually lifting him up into the air. Asking him if that was all he wanted. The demon would say yes, and Deku just crushes his windpipe, drops him to the ground, and walks out of town. As he begins making his way toward the blotches. Now, Deku immediately looks back down at his hand, and he would see that it's changing again. Deku's not really sure what's been going on. He's not sure if he's going insane, or if his mind is finally snapping, or if being here for too long is essentially made him go insane. Now, what do I mean by that? Hang on 1 minute. Alrighty, that was instantly for you guys, but it took me about a minute or so. Now, I believe where I left off was, Deku begins walking out of town, as many people are looking at him. People are watching as the Slayer is walking through their town. Not sure what to do. Deku is looking at a lot of things that are happening around him, and he even sees a mother protecting her children. Now Deku, whenever he sees this, he actually feels something hit his armor. He immediately turns his head and looks down, and it's a ball, which confuses him. He bends down and he picks it up, but with one hand, actually holding it. As this happens, a little demon kid comes running up to him, asking if he can have his ball back. Deku would just hand the kid the ball, get back on his feet, and start walking away, which confused a lot of people. They thought the Slayer would be more brutal. Now, Deku isn't completely the Slayer yet, but he needs time. Now then, Deku begins walking out of town, still contemplating what's going on with him. Essentially, his quirk used to be about stockpiling the power of whatever he killed, but it's mutating or evolving. Now, this actually confuses Deku, so he just keeps walking, and he comes across a lake of fire, which is in between where he needs to go for the blotches. Now, whenever he's walking, he would actually see a Titan. No, not Attack on Titan, Shiganshina Titans. I mean a Titan. And for those of you confused, this is its skull in the background. In a river of hell. These things are the size of a building. Deku sees it and he's actually impressed, thinking that this thing might either kill him or he's gonna fucking murder it. Too bad I never brought my camera. No one would believe me about this. As he immediately leaps off, creating a crater where he was standing, jumping toward the Titan. As he immediately gets out his knives, stabbing it into its hand, actually climbing up it. Which is whenever the Titan actually starts flying around, well, not flying around, but flinging his arms around, trying to smack Deku off. It gets to a point where he thinks that he has Deku in his grasp, and Deku's essentially holding its arms apart. Now, while he's doing this, he has made a bit of modifications to his gear in the last the last 2 to 3 decades. He's been getting pretty good at that. One thing he did is, this picture doesn't have it, but he created shoulder-mounted blades. Essentially, they hide in his gauntlet, and whenever he turns his wrist and moves it forward, they actually start popping out. So he would do this, and as soon as they pop out, they actually stab in the Titan's hand. Deku would take this opportunity, and he'd actually move them outwards, creating a bigger wound, and immediately just getting stuck into a ball as the Titan keeps squeezing and squeezing down on him. Deku immediately just awakens a new part of his quirk. He actually turns into the 12-foot-tall demon back at the bar. And as soon as he does so, he's actually able to hold the Titan's arms apart, actually stopping them from smashing him together. As soon as this happens, he actually just starts climbing up the Titan's hand and arm, stabbing through it, actually being able to leap off and punch it in the face. As soon as he punches it in the face, he immediately just starts firing at it with his guns and just starts throwing everything he's got at it. He would have actually been able to knock out one of its teeth with a really big slash. He slashed it across the face, actually hurting it. Now, he would have been able to go back down into his human form, basically. My voice just cracked there. And whenever he did so, he actually pulled out... Well, he actually essentially brought his arm up and turned it again, actually revealing something right by the bend of his arm. Now, the demon's not sure what Deku's doing, and he looks up, and he sees a shoulder-mounted B8472. Now, why am I going with those numbers, 8472? Well, the big fucking gun 9000 is just that. Doomslayer literally has to pull the trigger with one hand. And I mean that literally. This thing is literally meant for like a 12-foot-tall demon to carry. If not literally made for something huge. As soon as Deku does that, he immediately just fires it off, actually blasting a hole through the demon's skull. As soon as this happened, Deku watches as this thing moans and groans and it falls over, dying. As he immediately just feels himself get all the power the demon had and actually seeing his hands turn into its giant claws. Well, his hands turning into its claws. Which he now realizes his quirk his quirk evolved, or got stronger. As he sees something flying by, essentially a lot of demons have came to see the death of this ancient being. Which is whenever Deku sees something in the air, he grabs his gun and he takes aim, and he just starts mowing down as much demons as he can. As soon as he does this, Deku just starts ripping and tearing his way through this horde. Whenever he finally gets done, he starts just trying to transform. He takes off the back of his armor and tries focusing. As he's starting to think about it more and more, he actually is able to summon the wings of the demon he just murdered. As soon as he does so, he starts trying to fly. But this is not working. Now, as soon as that happened, Deku, he thinks that he probably needs to try more. As he starts looking up through the air as high as he can, he starts seeing just bigger demons, if not stronger demons. So he immediately just leaps off with as much force as he can on one foot, flying straight into the air, actually punching through one of these things. As soon as he does that, he focuses again even more, and he actually summons that one's wings, which are bigger and stronger. As he actually somewhat grabs onto them, actually trying to fly. Now he's thinking, what direction was it again? Let's see, I was heading... Where am I? That is south. That's north. He said to head south for a mile. And head southwest. Okay, yeah, no, I need to go this way. As he starts flying that way. As soon as he gets there, Deku, he would see these blotches. He actually sees as demons are essentially... Well, there's this giant spider demon, and it's trying to actually get into Deku's world. Deku watches as it inserts this giant key, or this key, and it actually makes the blotch, instead of it just disappearing and reappearing over and over again, it stabilizes. Which Deku sees. Now, as soon as Deku sees this, he actually starts just using the BNG 8472, I believe I called it. That is a very random number. He starts using this and he starts firing upon the demon even more. Now, as soon as he does this, Deku would watch as the entire horde he has killed is destroyed. What he was going to kill is destroyed. And he would watch as this giant spider demon, or whatever you want to call it, essentially starts trying to run through the portal. Deku would see this and he would actually just run through also. And as soon as he gets through, he finally feels what he's been wanting to feel in a long time. Hunger. Thirst. Everything he's ever missed. He feels his mouth dry out. As soon as this happens, Deku is too busy to be excited, as he starts running through and actually murdering a lot of these demons. He takes out a gore nest, at least what he calls a gore nest, and actually just finds the spider and murders it. How does he murder it, you guys ask? He takes one of his shoulder-mounted blades, or his wrist, his gauntlet blades, stabbing it through its face, grabbing it by its nose, and just flinging it back through the portal. He doesn't know how far it went, but he knows that that thing is not getting up in a while. As he immediately just walks over to the portal, telling one of the scientists there to turn it off. And as soon as Deku did this, the scientist would turn it off, and Deku would walk over to the gate. They're asking what he's doing as he immediately just starts smashing it together into a ball. Now, as soon as this happens, Deku turns around as the scientists are yelling at him, asking him why he even did that and who he even is. Deku's looking at this man, he just asks him, what's his name and what year is it? The man would just say that his name is Hisashi Midoriya, but he has no right being here. Deku looks at him and he's even more confused. This man's supposed to be his dad? His hair is... Oh god. His hair is unkempt. His hair is disgusting. He smells like he hasn't showered in weeks, and he doesn't remember his dad having a beard. As Deku immediately just grabs his helmet, taking it off. And Hisashi immediately just jerks back, immediately just saying that's not possible. How are you're alive? I can't believe it. And I need you to answer me one question. What happened to the other doctors? How are you even still alive? We ran the numbers. We did anything we could, and I tried keeping hope. What day is it? I don't know how to tell you this. It's been over 5 months. What do you mean 5 months? It's not possible. What do you mean? I have been in hell for the last century, Dad. What do you mean? Last century? Hell? As he immediately sees Deku taking off his armor, revealing massive scars, massive blotches of burns, and he even sees the demon Deku has tied around his neck. Actually asking what that thing is. Deku would just say one thing. This little one right here has been with me for a long time. He is my navigator. Or he was. Now I'm not sure what he is. I'll probably keep him. Can't do much harm. What do you mean? This little guy right here is what I call an imp. The lowest level of demon. Remember that thing that dragged me in, Dad? That is what I call a demon. That is what I call a skin. The thing is so red and so bony, it literally looks like a person you skinned alive. Not bothering to try and be clean, but you just stayed sloppy with it. I killed that thing, and it was the first thing I ever had to do. I regretted it, but I waited there for a month, thinking the portal would open. I waited for 20 years in the same spot, hiding, cowering, being alone. You have no idea what my first conversation was like with that doctor. What happened to her? She told me that whenever I disappeared, you guys immediately reopened the portal. Now, I'm not even sure what's going on. I'm not even sure if this is real. I have been through many tricks and many illusions. I'm not even sure if I am alive. You have no idea what it's like down there. I have not been able to sleep for the last century. I have not been able to eat for the last century. I have not been able to drink anything for the last century, even sleep. Just tell me one thing. Are you going to open this thing ever again? No. This was one of our final tests, but what do you mean one of your final? We were planning on doing one more month of testing before we shut this thing down. We've been sending in people to try and find you, but from what you've told me, the only way you survived is using your quirk, which I don't condone, but I understand. Let's go home. We, I need to call your mother. I need to let her know you're alive. Our boy is alive. Anyway, guys, that is where I'm going to be leaving this episode off of here. And for those of you who are wondering how essentially 120 years have passed, or 100 years have passed and Deku has been in hell, and how I said time flowed differently, let me give an explanation. These portals that open up randomly, they're never stated how much time can pass whenever you go through one. You could be time traveling whenever you walk into them. It's like this. Every part of a house is sectioned off in different areas. You walk into one room, you can look outside and you can see it's snowing. You go in the other room, you see it's outside and on fire. Armageddon weather, so Australia. And you go in the next room and see that it's raining. No matter what portal you go through, depending on the one, depends on how far you jump. Deku got lucky. He jumped through one that didn't send him a century in the future, if not to the year 3286. Now, I'm going to be leaving this part off of here, guys, and for those of you who know Doomslayer lore, I hope you enjoyed this video, because the Titan was actually one of the coolest things I've seen in Doomslayer. And I kind of did this as a little bit of fan service to people who do play Doom and watch my videos. So I hope you enjoyed. Alright, have an amazing night, you guys, and I will catch you guys later.